Auckland has been pioneering a free school dental service, and this is now available to all children and adolescents. For children who are convalescent or underweight, health camps are maintained by public subscription. Though everyone at all times can get plenty to eat at home, malnutrition is sometimes caused by food fads or ignorance. Children go to these camps on the recommendation of their school doctors, and 6 weeks of camp life nearly always turns the scales upwards. The Plunkett system of infant welfare, developed in New Zealand by the late Sir Truby King, is world famous and has helped to make the infant mortality rate the world's lowest. The adequate maternity benefits introduced under the Social Security scheme have resulted in an increased birth rate. The cost of having a baby is little more than the cost of its clothes. Most babies are born in maternity hospitals, few at home. Besides maternity benefits, the Social Security scheme assures free hospital treatment, free medicines, x-rays and massage, and medical benefits to pay the fee of the doctor the patient chooses. Thus, the best of medical care is available to all, rich or poor. If the doctor finds that expensive drugs or special nursing is needed, then these things are available, at home or in hospital. Social Security, the community looks after those whose working days are past. The orphaned, the widowed and the elderly have a right to live free from hardship. Social Security is a sort of practical insurance against old age and misfortune. Most New Zealanders are family people, living in individual houses with their own separate gardens and in extended suburbs rather than crowded city areas. There are new houses and there are old houses, nearly all built of timber. There are wooden cottages and wooden mansions. A minority of city people live in flats, some in this government-owned block, which answers the housing problem for single people and childless couples in a crowded area. Another government project is this layout of community flats, with a central hall for the use of all tenants. But by far the greater part of the government effort to solve the housing problem has gone into the building of the individual houses which New Zealanders prefer. Roughly 1/3 of the houses now being constructed have been ordered by the government for letting at reasonable rentals. The privately owned homes are numerous and for the most part modest, having been built for the job of housing a family of a certain size. A few homeowners have built luxury houses on sites chosen for their outlook. While many aspire to luxury, most are too busy with the daily duties of home and family to spend much time looking at the view. Domestic servants are rare, and on weekdays the housewife is a lone hand in the nursery, kitchen or wash house. At weekends, which are 2 full days, father does the household repairs or straightens up the garden. Most suburban residents are keen gardeners, and the unwilling minority have to keep their gardens up to the general standard. In the towns and cities there are numerous parks and wooded areas. The air is free from smoke. Sunshine and open air are accessible to all. There are 4 four main cities called the Four Centres. In the colder south, Dunedin, built round a great natural harbour and overflowing over the rims of surrounding hills. City transport tackles the hills boldly. Dunedin has a business solidity that reflects its Scots origin and character. Next, Christchurch, a city laid out by English settlers in gridiron pattern at the seaward edge of the great Canterbury Plains. Nostalgically, they built an English cathedral, planted English trees, named their river the Avon. Auckland, the northernmost and largest city, is more cosmopolitan, a terminus for Pacific routes as well as a shipping port. But though it is the largest and most extensive city, Auckland is not the capital. The seat of government is Wellington, centrally placed on a great harbour near Cook Strait. Confined by hills, its central area has been built as high as regulations allow. In a boisterous but equable climate all its own, Wellington claims to be the healthiest city in the world. Settlers brought with them their religious denominations, and according to statistics, 73% of New Zealanders are Protestants and 14% Catholics. All churches are entirely independent of the state. Colleges of the University of New Zealand are spread over the four main centres, and in the last 10 years the student body has doubled in size. Skilled in law or literature, medicine, science or administration, the graduates move on to enrich the nation's life. Of the men who become specialists, many travel to greater opportunities in larger English-speaking countries. Of recent years, there's been a great revival of interest in music and the arts. The beginning of this revival was marked by wartime lunch hour concerts. The audience for live music became re-established, and today a full house for musical performances is the rule.